The Sportster S might just be the most underrated muscle cruiser out there. And I'm about to show you why this underappreciated beast of a machine might just be the most special Harley Davidson muscle cruiser you can buy. The RevMax engine is the first entirely new engine Harley Davidson has created since the Milwaukee 8. Oh yeah, and there's that whole Street series, but nobody in the United States actually liked those, so. Although you may not believe it, this bike does stick to Harley Davidson's standard recipe, to an extent. You get an exposed V-twin with forward controls, just like most Harleys, a very low seat height, very short travel front suspension, just like some other sporty models in the past. But there are some things that have begun to change. Personally, I think for the better. This bike makes 121 horsepower out of its 1250cc V-twin motor. And as you know, that is class leading in the V-twin cruisers. Well, given the bike doesn't weigh over 700 pounds. The only real competition this thing has is the Scout 101, which has a little bit less power, a little bit less torque, and actually weighs a little bit more than this bike does. Who the hell thinks that this bike should compare to an FTR? Idiots. And I hate to say it, but I don't think these bikes are doing as well as they should be. This bike seems to be suffering from the same problems that the V-Rod did. I guess Harley fans don't want to go faster than a 600 Super Sport while on a cruiser. And if you don't believe me, stick around to the end of the video. I'll show you. This thing is as fast as a 600 Super Sport, if not faster. Although this does have some similarities to traditional Harleys, it begins to stray away a little bit in all the right ways, basically. It has a 60-degree V-twin with variable valve timing and overhead cams. It allows this bike to rev to 9,500 RPMs. It is glorious. Listen to it. And it doesn't just stop at the engine. This bike actually has Brembo calipers and a master cylinder. And more importantly, they're labeled Brembo. This bike also has a 6-way IMU like most sport bikes, and it has the modern basics, ABS, and traction control. Oh yeah, and it also has like tire pressure sensors. It's fancy.
And strangely enough, this bike is really interesting to ride. To be honest with you, the feet forward and ergonomics of a cruiser just aren't meant to go this fast. Motorcycles that are this fast are usually more sporty. So sitting down and tucking on this bike is really interesting. I mean, you have nothing to hold your legs, nothing to hold you here. Normally on a bike this fast, you have your feet kind of back here, but it makes it way more fun to ride. Even if you've gone 100 miles an hour before, it's like going 100 miles an hour on a 50cc scooter. It was never meant to be done like this.
And that just makes it a type of fun that you can't experience anywhere else. I literally got off of a 200 horsepower Ducati Panigale, and then I rode this bike home, and this bike put a bigger smile on my face because it's basically too fast for itself. This is one of those bikes that just kind of comes around once in a lifetime. It doesn't make sense, it's glorious, and yet it is actually still here. And man, does riding this thing actually put a smile on my face. It's my bike, and I get it, I'm biased, I like it. But seriously, when I get on this thing, not expecting to go as fast as I did on a 200 horsepower machine, just accepting it for what it is, a high power, high torque, small muscle cruiser, it is hilarious to ride, and it always puts a smile on my face. This machine is fucking awesome.
And this bike being a V-twin gives it something that we've all come to love, and that is torque. This bike mains 94 pound-feet of torque. That is almost as much torque as the 107 Milwaukee 8, the first generation Milwaukee 8, and it makes double the horsepower. This is a serious performance engine.
And the performance doesn't just stop at the engine. I want you guys to think about this for a second. This bike weighs 502 pounds. That is literally a tick over 5 500 pounds. This bike is lighter than the Sportster 883, which for a very, very long time was Harley Davidson's staple, small, easy to cruise on, small cruiser. This thing is lighter than that. It makes more than double the horsepower and basically double the torque, and it's lighter. That is crazy. And don't forget, this is still a Harley. You can upgrade and get heated grips, you can get mid controls, windscreens, corner fairings. You can customize this thing however you want. Now, it's not as much as the old Sportster 1200 because this bike hasn't been around for 40 years, but if you go and buy one, this bike may be able to stick around for that long too.
And this bike is pretty easy to ride. It's actually pretty interesting. It has this giant balloon tire that makes it really stable for a 500-pound bike. This bike, in terms of stability, in terms of how wind affects it, actually feels better than other 500-pound bikes. It does not get blown around. It feels planted for the weight that it is. And if you want the bike to be a little bit more darty back and forth, then you can just change the front tire, which I have a video about that up here if you guys are Sportster owners and want to get a little bit more sharper handling out of this thing.
What's not so special about this bike is the basically 2 inches of suspension travel. But that's something that they've done in other models, and actually for the 2023, the rear shock is extended an inch, so it actually has 3 inches of suspension instead of 2 in the back. But what is special are these upside down forks. You get them on all the Sportster S models, unlike the right side up forks that they're trying to put on the Nightster. Why don't you just do this on all of the models and call it a day? But that's besides the point. This bike is all about making a cruiser perform. Brakes! You see that? That's a Brembo logo. Brembo logo. Brembo logo. Harley has finally ditched the branding and actually put Brembo on the bike. Harley's been running Brembo for years, but it's been locked behind their Harley Davidson badge. They finally let somebody else shine. And they are still pretty good brakes with solid pressure as well. It doesn't have a dual front disc, but in my honest opinion, I don't think it needs it. Obviously, more is better in this case, but in reality, the bike stops just fine.
And we really need those brakes too, because watch this.
Crazy to think that a Harley Davidson is the most advanced muscle cruiser on the market. It's Harley Davidson, a brand known for sticking to tradition so tightly that innovation and cutting-edge technology is not a requirement for its customers. And yet, here it is. We get a shining example of what Harley Davidson is capable of doing with modern technology. It shines brightly. I promise you, one day we will get a liquid-cooled bagger from Harley Davidson that makes over 150 wheel horsepower, which a big liquid-cooled twin is very capable of doing. They just have to make it. It's gonna be awesome. Oh yeah, and I didn't forget to show you that this bike is actually faster than a 600. I just happened to do it in this video right here. Thank you guys for watching. Give it a like, sub, and if you actually like this bike and you want more people to get into Sportsters, send this to a friend. Maybe somebody that wants to buy a Sportster, is looking at one or something along those lines. It goes a long way. Thank you.